Brown season is over. We've heard the wrap ups from Andrew Berry, from Kevin Stefanski, one of the open pieces that Andrew Berry talked about, that he isn't willing to divulge any secrets or predict who's going to be with the team. But we will today, at the risk of saying see ya to one of the players that's going to stay with us. But we are going to play a little game called Sign 'em or See ya. And give some advice to Andrew Berry, because I think the Browns are always looking for advice from Browns fans.
Yeah.
So let's start it off here. We have here at the bottom, Jed Wills. Drew, let's go to you first here.
See ya. There is no reason you keep this person. I am so sick of Jed Wills. That's not me trying to be a hater. This was a big swing and a miss in the draft. We were able to squeeze every ounce out of him with exceptional coaching from Bill Callahan, but once he departed to work with his son, we saw what happens when an average offensive line coach meets a below average left tackle, and that's what Jedrick Wills is and was, and what he will be in the future for any other team that gets him. I wish him nothing but the best, but there's no way you can go into 2025 with him as your starting left tackle.
Very close to best there is, best there was, best there ever will be.
Yeah.
We'll count that as one, Drew. Thank you.
Wow.
Eric, any arguments against here?
No, not a team player. He went over the business decision comment that he didn't really feel like going into a game. And I want, I'll put a PG. I want a jerk of a left tackle, somebody who is not afraid to, kind of get under the other team's skin. Of the defensive line. Jedrick Wills is not that person. He hasn't shown the fight that I was hoping for. I guess Joe Thomas is kind of a nice guy, but you've heard some scuffles about him. So worst case scenario, have a little guy with a mean streak, and he's not one of them.
The jerk store called, and they're all out of you, Eric. Let's go to the second one here. Not a wrestling reference, but if you know, you know. Second one up here. Another fan favorite, at least for a portion of the season. Eric, we'll give you first shot here. Jameis Winston.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna say see ya. I mean, I don't think he's a good mentor for a young quarterback, a rookie. He's gonna teach him how to throw interceptions, maybe pick sixes. So that's not something we want. Nice guy. Really enjoyed his press conferences, but we could probably get a younger veteran if needed, and if worst comes to worst, they will throw interceptions or pick sixes as well.
Drew.
He's dead wrong on it. You signed Jameis Winston. I would love to have him back. I think he would be an excellent mentor for a young quarterback. I think he's the perfect bridge. He's somebody that gives you the opportunity to compete to win every single game. He will win some games for you. He will lose some games for you. But I think he will show a young quarterback how to work out, how to approach an offseason, how to study film. He's not the greatest with his decision making, certainly, but he's somebody that I think you can rely on to be an ultimate team player, and that's what I'd be looking for in my bridge quarterback. I'd love to have Jameis Winston start week 1.
Maybe we'll carry 5 quarterbacks next year. Maybe that will be the solve here. Let's go on to number 3 here. We're going to cover, there's more than we're going to list here, but we're going to go into a little bit more depth than just the star players or the fan favorites. So let's go on with Nick Harris on the offensive line here. Drew, go to you first here.
Yeah, I'm saying see ya to him as well. I appreciate him coming in this year and trying to fill in, doing his best, but there are better centers on the open market, and if there's not, there's better centers in the draft. The guy that I really like is Ryan Kelly. I don't know if we'll have the salary cap space to land somebody like him, but Nick Harris is not somebody you can count on. He was very bad this year with average coaching. So again, I appreciate what he has done here, but it's time to move on.
Eric, you want to lose that depth?
No, I'm good with keeping him for now. I mean, we had Luke Whippler. He got hurt. We drafted a center from Texas Tech a couple years ago. He got hurt. So we don't really have the best track record at drafting centers. I'm good with bringing him to camp. if we can upgrade at free agency or draft, then I'll kick him to the curb. But if it's kind of a 7th round flyer, what we've kind of done the last couple of years, I keep him around for depth. I think the improvement in coaching should hopefully get him back to where he was, which is respectable or a good veteran backup.
All right, let's go to number 4 here. We've got Elijah Moore. Eric.
Cue the Michael K. See ya. I'm not going to say it in his voice. See ya. Never showed any consistency. Had one good game, I think, against the Jets, his former team. That was when Amari Cooper was hurt. One of the many failed trades brought on by this front office. So, yeah, we could do a lot better. We could do better by the draft and probably even better via free agency. See you later.
Drew.
Yeah, I'll do you one better. I actually think the Andrew Berry's been pretty good with his trades, but I'll do you one better. There's a better player on the roster right now. His name's Cedric Tillman. There's absolutely no reason to re-sign Elijah Moore.
All right. At least Elijah Moore was on the field at the end of the season, so I think he's worth looking at. Cedric Tillman, worried about that head injury at the end of the year, so hopefully he is feeling better and will be ready for next year, but you never know. So let's go to the next one here. We've got someone who turned on a little bit towards the end of the season here, Jordan Akins. Drew.
Yeah, I would be inclined to say sign him. Now, you're talking about a backup tight end, and you obviously can't invest a whole lot of resources here. But in terms of, if they switch back to that Stefanski Kubiak offense, they run a lot of multiple tight end sets. And you could do worse than Jordan Akins as your backup tight end. He has some athleticism. He can play the position. He can run the routes that you're looking for. So I'd be inclined to bring him back.
Eric?
Yeah, I was in the same boat. Kind of what I was thinking with Nick Harris is basically, he's a good reserve guy if you keep him on the cheap. If you can upgrade, an early round draft pick, that's one thing. But, kind of relegate him to the third or off the squad. But for now, I keep him.
All right, let's move on. Someone that we've seen fill in on the offensive line quite a few times, James Hudson. Eric, let's go back to you here.
Another guy who was kind of respectable, kind of had a decent start to his career, but again, no great coaching. I don't even remember watching him play this year, so it's a bummer. But I think it's time to upgrade at that position. So see ya.
Drew.
Yeah, I tend to say see you could do worse in terms of your swing tackle, a guy who has some experience, who was able to fill in and did an okay job, but I think there's better players available on the open market.
Shoulder surgery for James Hudson, scary injury for a offensive lineman, but we need depth. We can't get rid of everyone here, and maybe a coach can make a big change here. So we'll see. I would say James Hudson, bring him back as long as he's looking good post-surgery here. Let's go on to the next one. We've got Rodney McLeod in the secondary. Drew, back to you.
I thought he had declared he was retiring.
Okay.
I don't think he wants to come back anywhere in the National Football League. I would love to have him back. He played great for the Browns, one of the few bright spots in a pretty abysmal season. I thought he finished his career out, excuse me, in a really solid fashion. I think he has another year left in the tank from what I saw this year, but it sounds like he has made his decision.
Maybe we'll skip that then. 13 years in the NFL. He's going to be 35. We could welcome him back. But Eric, let's go to you on the next one here. Let's see. So we've got D'Anthony Bell.
Yeah, so with McLeod likely retiring, again, to what Drew said about retiring. Again, he's another guy. Keep him on the roster for special teams depth, at least to start at the 90. Again, if you can hit on a rookie or a free agent, then he could be off the squad. But he's kind of a break glass in case of emergency. Last guy on.
Drew?
Yeah, I'd be inclined to keep him on as a special teams player, as an emergency, safety if needs be. But if they were to move on from him, I wouldn't be shedding a tear.
All right. Are we missing anyone? Oh yeah.
I think so.
Nick Chubb.
Oh,
So here's
right.
here's the big one. Nick Chubb. Uh, awesome comeback after that devastating knee injury, a foot injury to Nick Chubb. Not as much of a recovery, but another injury. Drew, will give you the first crack at this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna give a name that I don't think he can get to this level again, but he could be somebody like a David Montgomery if you could squint your eyes and you look at it just right. If the Browns were to find a really good complementary starting capable running back, probably in the second round of the NFL draft, you could see that tandem working out really well. Each player carries the ball somewhere between 10 times a game, maybe 15 times. And you have the ability for both of them to run between the tackles, both of them to go to the outside. Hopefully the back that they would draft could be a good receiving back. So I would love to see Nick Chubb back, if only because he has more value to this team, the Browns, than he would any other team. And I would love to see him take one more crack at making a full comeback.
Eric?
Yeah, I'd like to keep him with Pierre Strong and maybe with Jerome Ford and upgrade from Pierre Strong with, again, hopefully a young up and coming running back, relegate him to the second or third man on the depth chart, but still giving him a role as needed. Gotta finish his career a little better than that. Maybe assign him to a 1-year deal and go from there, but it'll be hard to see him let go, but nothing surprises me in this league anymore.
I think the question will be, what will be the price for many of these guys, but especially for Nick Chubb? What is he going to ask for this year back? Hopefully there's something incentive laden where if Nick has a great season, he gets what he deserves to come back for the Browns. Would love to see him come back. So we'll be rooting for Nick. And we'll be rooting for a lot of these guys coming back from injury and bolstering this team for next year.